Happy
Steven.
Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils network. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker. Somewhere on the mountaintop with the mountain view. And Scotty's beautiful palace where he lives the high life with his $35 million private jet in his driveway.
In a driveway, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Right in the driveway,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You don't trust anyone if you get your jet in your driveway.
Yeah.
Every time you describe Scotty's place, if you've ever seen the movie National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, which is by far probably one of the most underrated, slept-on comedies ever created, when they show a shot of Emilio Estevez's trailer, and then they go inside, and it's like this gigantic mansion. One of the greatest movies of all time. If you've never seen it, there's so many great moments.
That's pretty hysterical movie.
He puts a change in the blind man's cup. Remember, you saw nothing.
Those are Tim Curry
And
in there.
seeing nothing.
Wilderness girls.
What a great movie. So good.
I think
Sarge.
Beer baron,
Sarge.
that line just makes me want to. That makes me think of Friday's game. I want to pretend I didn't see anything on Friday.
Yeah,
Just
that was
terrible.
going to be my segue into that, too. Yeah, that was
There you
exactly
go.
where I was going. It's something that you just don't want to see is a team that's 0-10-1, I believe, come into your building and not just win, but absolutely embarrass your team. Which, by the way, guess what's happening across the river? Because, as much as we hate them, unfortunately, that team across the river is playing really damn well right now. They're doing to the Sharks what the Devils should have done. Absolutely shellacking them. So, yeah. Gonna be a tough one to
Sharks?
swallow on that one.
I think the Sharks, if I was hearing right on Friday night on the ride home from American Whiskey, they had not scored more than one goal in any away game prior to Friday night.
6 total in all the other games.
Yeah. And then
Yep.
they put 6 up against us.
Well,
Yep.
they did score
I
5
guess-
tonight. They did score 5 tonight, so they lost 6-5 to the Rags, but still.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's getting shellacked.
Well, at first, when the last time I checked the score, I think they were up like 6-2 at one point.
Okay.
And Panarin had a hattie going on, so 6-3.
They were
or something.
getting-
I like
They
to
were
say
getting
that the
shellacked.
Devils wore them down,
They were 6-3.
the Sharks.
Yeah, sure. They wore them down just the
Sure,
same way that
Sam.
if you swam in shark-infested waters, you'd wear down a shark swimming away from it. I mean, it was. You have a 3-game winning streak. This team looked like they're starting to piece things together. Yes, unfortunately, once again, here comes the injury bug, choo-chooing its way down the tracks, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you're going off a 3-game winning streak, and it seemed like this team was starting to get everything right, and then you're like, all right, this should be number 4 because we're playing San Jose, who is in the bottom of the dumpster, like that like liquid that you see leaking out the bottom of a dumpster. That's where San Jose likes to swim around nowadays. And guess what, boys? We laid on the ground, we put our mouth underneath that dumpster, and we took a big old gulp of that junk because that's what happened to this team. It's just
Some chum?
absolutely horrifying. Yeah, dude.
No,
Some shark
Come
chum?
down and
Straight
chump
garbage
some of this.
water.
Come down and chump
Straight
some of this
garbage
stuff.
water.
Yeah, they had black eyes like doll's eyes until they bit it. Their eyes rolled over white.
Never get
Pounding and
Jaws
screaming.
quotes.
Listen, I love Jaws. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's where my brain is right
$10,000 for me by myself. For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn
now.
thing.
Oh damn thing! Let me see your hands. You soft hands.
Wow. All of a sudden, Quint went. Wow. All
Opa!
of a sudden, Quint went from an old salt New Englander to a guy that sounds like he's from the Balkans. I don't know how that happened.
I see JP saying $9 million. Soros, please. Yeah, listen. So we might as well get right into it. That the unfortunate news of Dougie Hamilton going on LTIR. Sorry, long-term injured reserve.
AKA the lightning rule.
The lightning rule, yeah. So Dougie going on there, and who is it? Was it Nosek that went on there as well? That cleared up about $9. Nosek is on there as well. So we just cleared up about $9 million worth of cap space, which would lead you to believe that the Devils could and should make a move for a goaltender at the very least, or something, because it just ain't working, boys. It ain't working right now.
Yeah. It's been hard. It's been hard with this team. The defense has been suspect. The goaltending has also had these good nights where they've gotten hung out to dry, and then, nights like against San Jose where you're like, you should have had that one. You should have had that one. Why did you, Akira Schmid, why did you knock the puck away from Luke Hughes when he was trying to clear it? There's those nights as well. So the only thing that's been consistent is, the offense, and we know that. But yeah, something's gotta give with this defense. And
Modine, I knew you'd.
And do the Devils? Yeah, I mean, Nashville is probably. I gotta look where is Nashville in the standings right now, because I know they're not.
I thought I heard Soros was untouchable, though. Someone mentioned, or I heard somewhere that Soros was untouchable.
They're 11 and 12.
Well, that's because they came out and basically said so. They were like, "Yeah, we're not looking to trade him." But they have. Don't forget, they also have what's that kid's name? Askarov or
yeah, but that's another unproven
Askarov in the AHL.
He's another unproven goalie, though. He's another unproven goalie.
But he's got the pedigree that you're looking for. Like he's a top goalie prospect. So they have somebody in the.
What's the difference?
So was Mackenzie Blackwood?
No, because if you if you remember last year, Akira was actually, I believe he was second or maybe even third on the depth chart in the AHL in the beginning of the season. So he wasn't even. Nico Dawes was a starter in Utica, and things just happened. Like, listen, I'm not bashing on Akira. I'm saying like Akira has the right pieces, and we saw that in the playoff run against the Rangers last year. But the problem is, for whatever reason, it's not translating this year. New defensive scheme, the new defense, in front of them, the lack of blocked shots that you lose with Ryan Reeves. Whatever the case may be, it is not the same. And
Ryan Graves.
Ryan Graves. Sorry, Ryan Graves.
You sounded like Billy Dean. You sound like Billy Dean makes these mistakes.
Dude, I was at a wedding yesterday, and I was up until very late in the morning, and then we've been running around all day today, so my brain's a little foggy. But yeah, point being, it's like, whatever the case may be, both Vitek and Schmid, I think it's starting to become a little bit more clear that they might not be the one. Maybe Schmid needs more time to mature down in the AHL. Maybe Vitek is what he's supposed to be, is a strong backup goaltender. But I don't know. I think it might be time for this situation to be reevaluated relatively quick.
And just want to point out real quick, both these players are not on the long term. They're just on the regular IR.
You know what? Somebody pointed that out too. That was Dubs.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Dubs was saying that as well.
Oh, yeah?
Thanks, Dubs.
Oh, good. Thank you, Dubs.
Yeah,
where is that?
Yeah,
there it is.
His name is Ass Grab, that beautiful goaltender down in Nashville. Watch out, though. He'll get you.
Yeah,
Saros would be really nice, though. I mean, that would be your be-all, end-all, someone you could sign up there for a long term. I mean, it's going to cost some money, but that would really solve a lot of goaltending issues there. I mean, there are some other ways that the Devils could go as well. not as expensive.
Mhm.
But if you're looking for a
Gibson.
long-term solution, Saros is your man.
So another name that's floated out there is Gibson. But I have a question for you, Shorts guy. Would you trade Schmid for either Saros or Gibson? Like it wouldn't be just one for one, obviously. I'm just saying, would you package Schmid into that, knowing he does have potential, but right now, he had a 40 save game the other night, which they shouldn't have put him into that against San Jose in the back-to-back. That was kind of stupid. He faced a lot.
I don't know why they made that decision. That was a dumb
knows?
decision. Unless they went to him that morning and said, "Hey, can you go again tonight?" And he said, "Yeah." And obviously, putting a goalie in on the second night of a 2-day back-to-back, bringing in a defenseman that was making his NHL debut who made some obvious mistakes, that I think was a bad decision. Just kind of looking at it, Gibson is 30. Saros, where's Nashville here?
He's younger.
Saros' age. Yeah,
Isn't he like 27
now? Saros is 28. So
28,
2 years younger
okay.
than Gibson. I don't know. It's a hard. I like Saros, and I think Saros would do very well here, but that's kind of a hard ask right now with all the time that they gave Mac Black to give up on Akira Schmid so quickly, only for us to probably watch him do very well somewhere else. I feel like we gave Mac Black way too much time to try to become the one, and it just never came to fruition. I don't know. Saros would be nice, but I'd like to know why Dougie's not on the LTIR so we can make this move. I don't know. I like Schmid, so it's really hard for me to say, trade him straight up. I really think that maybe what we should do is take the LTIR space, the hopeful LTIR space, and find a way to bring in a defenseman to solidify this defensive core, and then go from there, because we saw what these goaltenders could do with a good, solid defensive core. So I'm not. They're making dumb mistakes, yes, and they're not making saves they need to make. But when your defensive core is weak and goals are going in, mistakes are amplified even further by the goalie. It's a tough situation. I don't know right now with this defensive core if there would be any goaltender that would really change everything to bring this to a winning team right now. I really think if you're going to use this LTIR money, if we even do it, because why they're not on LTIR, I have no idea. There's 10 million available. I would take that money and kind of go halves, bring in a good defenseman and bring in a good goaltender if they are available.
Yeah, if you have to send somebody out like Akira Schmid, the fear of him going somewhere and becoming like Olmark or something like that. He's not really playing that well. You send him away. He goes to like Boston and he becomes a Vezina trophy winner. That's the fear. But it's also like you have to look at what this team is built for, right? So we have longevity because we have a lot of contracts that are going to be around for a while. We have a lot of players: Hughes, Heischer, Meyer, Hamilton. There's a lot of pieces to this core that are going to be around for a long time. But at the same time, you don't want to waste years. You don't want to waste a year.
Know.
You don't want to miss the playoffs. You do not want to miss the playoffs. At the very minimum, their goal should be able to make it into the playoffs to continue to get playoff experience. Even if they don't go on a cup run, even if they don't get deep into the playoffs, the goal and the objective of this team has to be to make the playoffs. I know there's plenty of time, but you don't want to start pissing away these easy games. And even Lindy Ruff said in his post-game presser after the game against the San Jose Sharks, he was saying, sometimes the goalies need to make timely saves. He's saying, it's not all on the goaltender, but sometimes you could tell that he's starting to get annoyed with it too. You know what I mean? He's like, they need to step it up too. And I feel like, I don't know. The answer has to be in front of.
The answer is take the LTIR money, and if you're going to bring in a goalie, you got to bring in a good, solid defenseman as well, because this defensive core just got incredibly younger and incredibly inexperienced with the bringing in of Nemec, and bring in Vasi is not going to stop the defensive mistakes like Nemec. Now, granted, it was his first game, but that first goal that San Jose scored with that player wide open, that's a defensive mistake. It's like even Vasilevsky is not going to stop that.
Oh, he's been taking a dump this year since he came back from injury.
Oh, well, I mean, he's come back from injury, so
just a giant steamer right on the ice the other night. He let up like
you let 8 or something like that. It was stupid.
Yeah, his save percentage is like
it's not a 4-game steamer.
Yeah, that's what they should call a losing streak, by the way, a steamer. What are you on? We're on a 4-game steamer. We're working our way through it, all right?
We hit 5, it gets runny.
If you hit 10, it's a wolf cookie.
Oh, Sam.
It's what?
A wolf cookie.
I don't even know what that means, but that sounds horrible.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, either way, if you're looking for goaltending help, I mean, Saros he's got one more year after this year at $5 million. He will solve a good portion of your goaltending woes, but as Short Sky was saying, you need a little bit on defense as well. So if you take that Dougie money, if it does get moved to long term, that's $9 million right there, or however much it is at this point. You can probably.
It would be a combined 10 if Nosek and Dougie are out until the playoffs.
That's something that you can work. I mean, you may even be able to, if you do trade back in Akira Schmid for Saros, you may be able to get Nashville, who has like an extra $6 million or so in cap space, to take a little bit of that money, to retain a little bit of it. I mean, he would be the best one out there. But is Nashville going to give him up? They drafted him. He's been there. Trotz is always one who, is kind of like Uncle Lou, where he wants to build from the goal out. Yeah. So Saros is someone that you can have, backstop that team for years to come still. He can also backstop our team for years to come as well. So
he could.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the best target, I think, for the Devils. Is it the one that Fitzy's going to go for? I'm not sure. He might go a little Band-Aid. But if you want the real fix, that's the one. If you have Vitek as your backup and Saros as your starter, your goaltending situation just improved mightily.
So then what are you doing to improve the defensive core? So what are you doing to improve the defense?
I mean, I think you got to look to Tanev up there in Calgary, who they're trying to sell everything and anything, and they're looking for, assets that can get on the ice right now. I mean, much like the Devils trading Sharon Govich up there, they're looking for, assets that are ready to get on the NHL ice now, not someone who needs time to develop, someone who has been sort of developed already at the AHL level, and then can hop out there on the ice.
So Tanev cost us $4.5 million. So between Saros and Tanev, there is your 9.5, unless Nashville were to retain some of Saros's money, in exchange for it. I guarantee if they're going to be doing that, it's going to be more than just Akira Schmid. So we got to be ready to say goodbye to someone else if we're going to be doing this too. And same thing for Calgary. So, it's if you're going to improve goaltending, you have to prove defense, because the goalies are not going to. One goalie is not going to solve everything.
Right.
I have to say, I think Craig has the best idea for us. Smith in net and D and wing. So just Brendan Smith, when he's done with this bogus 2-game suspension, can
that doesn't help either.
No,
don't call it bogus.
I just thought that was funny. It is. It's not bogus. He deserved. You can't slash somebody
that
like that.
Or that. Yeah. He deserved that suspension.
He deserved the 2 games.
Yeah.
But
which,
which
by the way, did you guys see? I don't know if I sent it to you guys, but It was on Thursday. The NHL was doing that full court press to make Jacob Trouba look like a good guy with his art after they screwed up his non-suspension, non-call. There's this. It was on the NHL on TNT. They asked him about his art, and then the NHL featured it on their social media. It's like, oh, look, let's take this mistake we made and make him look like a good guy, so everyone forgets. Which immediately made me think of that episode of The Simpsons where they had Mark McGuire on there, and they were trying to figure out that thing about Major League Baseball, and he just leaves in the bar like, "Do you want to know all the truth, or do you want to see me sock some dingers?" And everyone's like, "Dingers! Yay!" And Trouba, good guy with his art, yay! Oh, he slashed a guy in the head 3 games ago. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. Sorry, I just had to point that out.
Just makes me sick. And if you go on the NHL, if you go on NHL on their Instagram feed, it's covered in blue right now. It's just. By the way, those third jerseys. I forget who pointed it out, but they're like, please God, don't let this be like a prelude to what the Devils Stadium Series jersey is going to be. That new Rangers jersey is like this gigantic, oversized logo. It's gross looking. And on the players, it looks horrible. On a fan, it looks even dumber. It looks like you're like a little kid in the movie Big when he shrunk back down and he was still wearing like the adult clothes and he's like walking away.
I don't understand these teams and these companies who pay all of these design types lots of money and they screw it up. Not just this one, but they've screwed up these jerseys a lot. How do you have all these design types, these smart, articulate, creative people, and they put out this garbage? And I'm kind of saying this rhetorically because, Beer Baron, you've done design just like I have, and a lot of times you come up with a design and you think it's fantastic, and the customer's like, well, and then you scribble something out and they're like, whoa, that's the best thing! And it's like...
Yeah. Dude, it's stupid. You know what they need is they need like those old school dudes from like the 1970s that were like coming up with like the Whalers and like the old school clean logos, like that kind of stuff, which doesn't exist anymore. Now you get these people that overthink everything, that are trying to be too trendy and too hip to like have an idea of like hockey culture or like what a good sweater looks like. I do have to say Arizona's third kit right now is legit. Like the maroon jersey that just says Arizona across and it has like that. You know what I'm talking about, Scotty?
Desert Kiln. Yeah, the Desert Kiln
I saw them playing in that last year. Last year.
Although I don't dig the giant cactus on their leg. That kind of looks a little weird, but outside of that, I think that the
it looks
jersey
cool in
itself
person.
is sick. Yeah,
it was really cool in person. That and they got the Seattle jersey right, but I think we talked about that last week. Right?
Yeah,
talked about
Seattle,
it on Hot Pod, one of the two. The Seattle Winter Classic jersey.
Vegas looks all right. The Winter Classic one.
It looks all right, but it's like
it's not that special, but it looks all right.
Yeah, like if I had the opportunity to buy the Kraken jersey, I would. If I had the opportunity to buy the Vegas one, I wouldn't. But yeah, you're right. As far as those Rangers jerseys are concerned, I hope that's not a prelude to the Devils Stadium Series jersey looking bad, because I would like them to have a good one, because and we should be as the home. I'm assuming we're the home team, so we should have the dark color jersey, which would be nice, and then hopefully it's something really rad.
This logo without the circle around it, I think is what's going to happen, and I hope they just don't screw this up. Like, do it the right way. I've like the jersey has grown on me, but still huge missed opportunity. Like.
The starter jersey. We bring it up like every other week. Just give us that starter jersey from the 90s.
Just give it.
Yeah. Plus that black starter jersey from the mid-90s. That's all we want. We'll all lose our minds and we'll all buy it. Like twice.
Or the blackout Reebok jersey that I was wearing on the podcast the other day. That like black on black with the red with the red trim on it.
That one's cool, but that starter jersey, nothing beats that. Nothing beats that starter jersey. I wonder
if you could find one on like a
Oh, you can. There's a starter jersey on eBay for $666, which is perfect price for a Devils jersey. No one's ever going to buy it.
Sam Moo might buy it. I found one, that starter jersey, XL, for about, I think, $50 on Facebook Marketplace, but somebody beat me to it. I was so mad. So mad.
I think I found one once, but they wouldn't ship. They only wanted to do like local pickup, and they were like Albany or some area like that. And I was like, damn it. I'm gonna look now.
All right. Back on track about what we need to see. We did get a chance to see Simone Nemec in his Devils debut, though, and I gotta say he had quite a game, picking up his first NHL point, and he coming out of camp was basically saying like I'm ready to go, like I feel like I'm ready to make this team. I think they made the right decision by keeping Luke up and letting Nemec go down to the AHL and season a little bit more. But I feel like if this is the situation and we're going to run with this, that it's a good replacement for Dougie. We just, you have to start looking at pairing and like who's going to be with whom and how that's going to kind of balance itself out. But yeah, it was good to see him come out, make his NHL debut, and hopefully that's the beginning of some really good things too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I liked? He has the number 17, so I could finally wear this Kovalchuk jersey behind me once I get his name removed from the plate and then put Nemec on there. Then I'll be happy.
You got to get a seam ripper. A seam ripper, and you take that little nameplate off. Not that I know.
Good, not that you know from experience.
Not
or
that I
anything
know
like that. No, but he looked pretty good for a 19-year-old kid coming up, playing, moving the puck.
We got somebody from Nova Scotia checking in. Hey. What's going on? Wasted Youth Comics and Action Figures. All right, man. What's going on? Thanks for joining.
Seriously.
Sorry, Scotty. I steamrolled you on that one. Go ahead, bud.
No, it's all good. I forgot what the hell I was I saying. Oh yeah. Simone Nemec. So yeah, I really like the way he. I like the way he played there in that's this first game. He had 2 assists. Okay, that first shot that he wound up on that went major league style, just a bit outside.
A bit outside, yeah.
High and over the glass. But then it ricocheted back right to Dave. I'm not Dave. I'm saying Damon Severson. Dawson Mercer.
Sam's funny.
I know Sam got excited. It ricocheted right back to Dawson Mercer. So okay, worked out there, and then he had an assist on the goal later on as well. So good for him. 2 points, 2 games. I had 1 game. I'm sorry. And yeah, that one blunder there. There were some hiccups, but he's a 19-year-old kid. So those are going to be expected. That one where him and Luke are out there, and then Schmid paddled the puck away from Luke as he was about to clear it. You can't really help that one. But overall, for a 19-year-old rookie, I thought he looked pretty good out there. I think calm, confident, was moving around. Sky's the limit for him.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's some mighty big skates that he's got to fill. That's losing Hamilton. It's a big loss. It's a big loss.
It is. And, it's huge.
It's just not only just like the presence on the power play, but just his overall presence on the ice, off the ice, on the bench. Dougie, he's been a little off this year. There's been some Dougie blunders out there, but at the same time, it's going to be that's a big ask for one of these young kids to really step in and take over the minutes and the responsibilities of Dougie Hamilton. But hopefully, this is the opportunity that Nemec has been waiting for, and he grabs the bull by the horns and really shows him now when Dougie comes back, you're going to have a hell of a hard decision to make to see who's going to be staying and who's going to be going back down, or who's going to be sitting in the skybox watching the rest of it. So I'm feeling confident that he has the skill set and he has the tools to do it. It's just the NHL is a different beast, man. You see a lot of guys that kill it in the AHL and they come up to the NHL and they look lost. You have guys that kill it in the KHL, which ice sizes and blah blah blah, and I get that. But you got guys coming over to the NHL and it's a different beast. So 19, rookie year. I don't know. Now you got 2 young kids in the blue line, if that's the way they're going to roll with it. So,
and don't forget too, like Luke has already basically replaced Dougie on that power play. I mean, Luke has been on PP1 basically this entire season so far, and he's been staying out there for longer shifts on that power play with Jack. So Dougie hasn't really even been too much of a force on the power play because he's on PP2. They're just really not getting a lot of ice time on there. So I wouldn't sweat him on the power play. I think 5-on-5 offense, that's where we might miss him a little bit. He's made some terrible plays on defense. I went on a rant the other week where I was just like, Siegenthaler and Dougie Hamilton can't be on the first pairing anymore. They're not first pairing defensemen because they just give up too many holes. Then of course Nico Hischier comes back, and you remember who our best defensive player is, Nico Hischier. And all of a sudden, some of those holes that Dougie was leaving, wide open, they got filled up a little bit with the captain returning. So I think they can replace that offense with Luke, but that defense is still Swiss cheesy. It's way too many lanes are open up for other teams. People are getting wide open in the slot. Got way too many odd man rushes. I can't even count how many odd man rushes we give up. And
you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
Just odd man rushes with an inexperienced D-core is not good for your goaltending. It's just not good overall. It's not good defensive play, just period. Odd man rushes. It can really kill a lot of things, and you give up too many odd man rushes, and you got everyone back checking. It can get exhausting. So those defensive blunders have to really get corrected in the offensive zone to prevent allowing those odd man rushes. And having a really good defensive offensive player like Nico come back, well, that's great, but we can't be giving up these odd man rushes, and then that also tires out your defensemen because they're rushing back to back check to get involved in that play. And it's problems all around, and that's why I am more about if we do this LTIR with Dougie Hamilton, you bring in a defenseman, because then what's the worst thing that happens? Either A, you trade one of them at the trade deadline and you bring in another really great piece, or B, you keep Dougie out until the playoffs and then you pull a Tampa Bay Lightning and have a $137 million roster going into the playoffs and hope to do something well with it. If that loophole is there, like they did, what was that, Mark Stone last year with Vegas, use it. Hell, use it. And then of course, the New Jersey
Tampa.
Devils would probably, the New Jersey Devils would probably be the one team that the league comes down on and says, "Oh, you can't do that. That's bad. We're going to."
Oh yeah, that would happen. They'd be like, "Whoa, you guys, you're the ones that broke it. You broke the system. Now we're going to have to put an octagon in the middle of the damn ice to make sure that Jack Hughes can't just skate through the middle anymore."
Yep. Your goalie plays the puck pretty well. Let's stage it in.
Here comes Gary Bettman shaking his big fat finger.
Jacob Trouba was right. We
put
should
an
have done something
octagon
else.
in the middle of the ice.
We put a trapezoid. Now we're going to start thinking of other shapes to start throwing at you. Do you want a parallelogram? We'll put a parallelogram in the middle of the offensive zone for Jack Hughes. It can't go in the middle of it. It's called the Jack-O-Parallelogram. I think I might have had a mini.
The Jack rule. The Jack rule. The Jack Hughes rule, just like the Marty rule. Oh my God! Yeah.
This is Movies Quotes podcast. Sometimes
that's what you got to do. I know this podcast goes off the rails very quickly.
Yeah, very easily. Yeah. There's a lot of people chirping. Speaking of Jack Hughes, there's a lot of people on the social media, and when I get most of the things that I read are through the X, and not an ex-girlfriend, but just the the Twitter. So I have this very knowledgeable ex-girlfriend that tells me all this information. Everybody's hating on Jack Hughes. I'm like, shut up! This is why I don't talk to you anymore. You leave me alone, you witch. But anyways, so Jack, a lot of people were saying that Jack is being careless with the puck, like going into the offensive zone, trying to go through too many people, leading to offensive zone breakdowns. Timo Meier is an overrated contract. We should have never signed him. There's all this like the sky is falling crap that's happening right now, and people need to like relax a little bit. First of all, Timo Meier is just fine. He's played 14 games this year for the Devils, right? He's 14 games into this
Something
new
like
contract. He'll be fine. He'll be just fine, okay? And then you have Jack Hughes. Jack can do whatever the hell he wants, all right? Have you seen the amount of points and how that dude's shoulders and back must be killing him for the amount of times that he's just thrown the entire team on his back and had like a 3 to 4 point night. So if you're giving Jack Hughes a bunch of crap, or if you're giving Timo Meier a bunch of crap, you might want to just pump the brakes a little bit there, Chief, because it's not they're not the issue. They're not the issue. There's other things that we've been discussing for which seems like week after week and game after game
Since
of the
July.
defense needs to be fixed. And
Since July.
Oh my Lord. And it gets repetitive, and it sucks sometimes to sit here and talk about it because it's like, well, we're going to talk about the same thing. And it's going to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher one of these days, like whop, 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 because that's just how it feels for us too. Like, the fans are chomping at the bit for this team to do something, and it's like, if Fitzy's not a moron, like there's rumors swirling around, like Kevin Weeks is like reporting, New Jersey, this team is after such and such a player, so he's picking up the phone, he's doing his due diligence, but damn, dude, like, can we please make something happen before the season goes completely off the rails and we're chanting Fire Lindy and dude, it's past time. I think we're at midnight. We got to make it happen.
I've been constantly saying, oh, it's early. Well, it's December now. It's getting late. We cannot be hoping to be like the Blues of their cup year and go from zeros to heroes, because that's not going to happen. But let's also think about this too. It sucks to lose to San Jose, but I think we would all agree upon if the Devils were to go on a win 3, lose 1 for a good chunk of the next coming games, I think we'd probably be happy with that win-loss ratio.
Yeah, 100%.
So it just sucks that one was against the lowliest team in the NHL, who we were all pretty pumped that they beat the Flyers a couple weeks ago, but now when it happened to us, it sucks. But
it's like, whoop. Sorry.
Yeah. But I think the ratio of 3 wins, 1 loss, 3 win, 1 loss, I think would be good. I think really what needs to happen is that the defensive holes have to be plugged. And then that's when you really evaluate if your goaltending is still crap and your defensemen are playing really well. That's when you go and make your move for the goaltender.
Okay. That's fair enough as assessment, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna run with that, Scotty.
No. I was just gonna say. I mean, I think that's a really good assessment
that's good.
there.
I have nothing to say anymore. It's you finished my words.
There it is.
Words
done.
Right out of my mouth. Put it.
There it is.
Yep, done.
Done.
I'm done for the night.
Sam, we're done. Time
Sam,
to
I will say. I will say one thing I don't want to see, even though I saw many people talk about this, in the past month or so. I really would not like to see the team trade Alexander Holtz in any of these moves.
No.
Maybe
I know
last year I would have been. Last
This
year,
year, no.
I would have been okay with it. This year, it's like, no, he's finally developing. No.
Yeah. His progression here in this season has been fantastic. He's just getting better and better each game. The physicality now that comes around with him as well. He's not getting bumped off the puck as more. You see him getting on those back checks. He's finding ways to get wide open in the middle of the slot, which is going to be his money because he has just got a nasty release on that shot. And it's going to be tough for goaltenders. I mean, Short Guy, you can tell everybody here what it's like to try and stop a shot with a guy who's got to release that fast, and that nasty.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's finding.
And
his
if he
way.
keeps
Dawson
finding his
Mercer-
way into the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he's finding his way, and Dawson Mercer's finally heating up too. And the two of them have been playing really, really well.
Yeah. Definitely Mercer has improved in this last like 5-6 game stretch. He was having just the toughest time this season. What did he go? Like 10 games without a goal or something like that? The first 10, I think.
And everybody was like, "Oh, Mercer sucks. Mercer sucks." It's like, he'll be all right. Just relax. Relax.
It'll be all right. This team really hasn't been fully healthy, It's just for like a game or two. And we're making all this we're making all these judgments with a lot of injuries out there and a lot of holes that are being, plugged in for the moment. With LaBerge and Willman and I'm trying to think of who
Smith,
else.
And having Smith play wing.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Right. He's been all
right. He
did
did better at wing than he did at defense. So I mean, that's my perspective on things.
That's wild to me.
Yeah,
keep him on the fourth line. Keep him on the fourth line and bring in another defenseman. Bring in another defenseman with this money. Like, bring in Tanev.
Yeah, it's I would not want to see Brendan Smith go back to defense. I think he did a great job on the fourth line, and he is much better suited for there.
By the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tanev up until this past year was Quinn Hughes' defensive partner, and
whenever he signed with Calgary, was that I don't know if it was last year or the year prior to that. Yeah, but he was in Vancouver for his whole run. There is the idea also that Toronto may be snooping around there, and Tanev is from Toronto.
How is Toronto?
So,
get out of here, Toronto, you jerks!
How the hell did they do
I don't know how they can, I don't know how they can afford it, but I know they're
Yeah.
snooping around there because they need defensive help as well.
Yeah. Toronto's got
but
some
I think that would be
talent.
I think that would be a nice fit for this team as well.
The league just allows, and the Devils will try to do it, and we'll get caught.
Well, did you see the other night in that that shootout where who the hell were they playing? They were playing
Florida.
the Panthers. When
Florida,
the Panthers like
listening
won
to that
the
on the
shootout,
radio.
and they like disallowed the goal. They're like, no, we're in Toronto, and it's in Toronto, so we're gonna just say that one didn't go in legally.
Yeah,
it's stupid, man. Just like that goal, against the Sharks, where it's clearly over the line. NHL, I don't know what the hell we're looking at. I mean, if I could see it on a TV, you would figure that they have better cameras in the war room, right? It's not the same TV feed. It can't be the same MSG camera crew that's also feeding you the
shots on goal
feed into the Toronto. That doesn't make sense to me. They have that camera inside the goal for a reason, so you can see the line, so you can see if the puck goes over the line. You know what they should bring back? The glow puck. For some of these morons, apparently
no,
going over the line.
No,
I'm just joking, short guy. I'm joking.
Oh God,
I'm joking.
Oh, the old glow
maybe
puck.
Put a little chip.
Forgot about
maybe
that.
put a little computer chip inside of that puck there, and then
please,
have something in the post, like a little laser beam.
I remember being at my friend's. I remember being at my friend's house in high school in the late '90s, watching that stupid pucks on Fox. The Fox track, going, what the hell is this? It glowing in the crowd because it was on the boards out of camera view, but there it was glowing through the first 3 rows. Oh, what the hell? No,
and people would take a shot, and you'd see the trail like a comet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it went over 80 miles per hour or something stupid like that.
They're like, make sure that fans that aren't a part of this, that don't really like the game, those fringe people, they like to call them, make sure that they can watch the game and follow the puck. It's not that hard to follow the puck when you're watching TV.
I hated that. It's like, I want to see the puck get tipped. I want to see the deflection. I want to see where the puck's going to see the goalie make the save. And it's just like this just bright red line. Boom. Oh, God. Now you got me all fired up. I'm not going to be able to sleep after the podcast.
Just nightmares of laser pucks.
Nightmares of
laser
Fox track.
Done.
Although Fox had those really Although Fox had those really rad robots that would come up out of the scoreboard when the
Oh,
team
yeah.
would score
Yeah.
in the 95 finals.
And they
beat the
like turn
crap
the other
out
one
of
into
each
a
other.
hockey puck and like slap shot it away.
Those transformer
has always
type
been
of
for that.
robots.
Yeah. They like crunch it into the boards and it'd be like burp, burp, burp. All right. Thanks, Fox. And yet, whatever. People can't follow the puck. And apparently they can't follow the puck up in Toronto either. So that's
No,
it's kind of
they
a problem. But listen, the Devils are going into Vancouver, man, on Tuesday. One of the
Team
coolest
doing
things in
good.
the world is, you have all three Hughes brothers out on the ice. Jack has always played Vancouver. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack might be undefeated against Vancouver and might continue to look to do that or look to continue to do that, however you say that. But it'll be cool
Who
to
do
see
they
all
play
three
next
brothers.
Saturday?
Who are they playing next Saturday? Well, you tell us, Scotty, if you're looking at it.
Calgary.
Calgary Flames. Yeah.
Ooh, potential dancing
In
partner.
Does Chris
Calgary?
Tanev play? Yeah, in Calgary.
Ooh. Well,
Let's see.
we'll see if you know what Fitzgerald should have done just to really get everyone like on the edge of their seat. He should have told the entire team, everyone pack for 2 weeks, even though we're going away for 1. You should all pack for 2 weeks.
And then look at VTech and be like, especially you. Get your extra large carry-on, if you know what I'm saying. And he like winks at Lindy Ruff, and Lindy's like, yeah. And he's like, you just need a travel bag, Lindy. You might be off the plane halfway through this trip anyways.
Yeah, that's what you should have just told everyone. Bring 2 weeks worth of clothing just in case we leave you behind somewhere. Just in case.
You know what'd be cool? It'd be cool if the Devils came home from Calgary, and would you take Markstrom over VTech right now? Would you take Tanev and Markstrom?
Okay, now you're changing it up.
Markstrom's got term, but he's also older. So you got to think of that.
What's his cap at?
I'd have to see what his how long we'd be on the hook for that.
What
I
do you
am
guys
looking it
out
up
there?
now.
Hey, by the way, we just want to say thank you to everybody out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the other the Twitter or X, whatever it's called. Thank you guys, seriously. I've been watching the YouTube feed this entire time, so every time you see me like duck my head down, it's because I'm looking at all the funny things that everybody says. So like, what's going on, JP Supernova? What's going on, Tom? What's going on, Peter? What's going on, Ted? Joseph, Dubs, Steven, Ariel, Tom. I already said Tom, but what's up, Tom? What's up, Paul?
So here's what we got with this situation. You have 2 players that are 33 years of age. You have Markstrom, which is a cap hit of 6. You've got Tanev, which is a cap hit of 4.5. So that's over the 10 million of the LTIR that we would have available. Markstrom, Markstrom has 3 years left with the no move clause. He's a UFA. That'll make him 36. Tanev has 1 year left. It makes him a UFA at 4.5. So he'll be 34 at the end of this contract because he's a UFA after this year. So if you're going to do that, you're probably going to have to leave a goalie behind, and you're probably going to have to leave a piece of someone who's also good behind. So we'll see if maybe they wind up bringing people on this trip that they don't necessarily decide or are looking to use. Markstrom is your stopgap until Akira Schmid, if you keep him, is ready.
Well,
that's the way that
if we give you if we give you a slightly used VTech Vanacek, that would also alleviate some of that.
Slightly used VTech Vanacek.
And you're welcome, JP. You're welcome.
Markstrom.
Yeah, dude,
I'm gonna say no to Markstrom.
Markstrom's had an off season.
3 years too. Another 3 years on that. I don't think you want to invest on that one. I mean, he's got the no movement or no trade. What has he got? No movement. Yeah, no movement clause.
Yeah, I bet you he'll waive that crap real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They'll
you're
be
locked
like, hey,
in there
listen,
for
man.
another
But all these
this year and then another
all
2.
these-
I don't know.
all these no movement guys, they have they've got a short list of teams that they would move to. They
Oh, for
always
sure.
have that short list of teams. But at the same time, I'm still all about unless like someone like a Vassie falls into your lap, you got to improve that defense before you bring in the right goalie to play with that defense. That's still
Well, that's
your
what I was
first
saying.
move. That's
That's
still
what I
your
was saying.
first
If you
move.
go after the tandem there of Tanev and Markstrom, this is all like pipe dream stuff. Even if you play NHL
Oh, obviously.
23 on Xbox, they won't let you do any of these trades. So just be like, no, and then your Xbox catches on fire because it's like you're a moron. You shouldn't be able to play this game anymore. But like, I'm curious to see, because you can guarantee that a lot of teams are going to ask for a Holtz, ask for a Nemec, ask for Mercer, ask for even Luke, which you would assume that they're smart enough to realize that Luke is untouchable just because it's Luke Hughes and his brother Jack are, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But I mean, they're going to ask you for your top players. And the thing is Fitzgerald has been really smart about the moves he's made. You look at, Sharon Govich. I think it was Sharon Govich in a third for Toffoli, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. He's smart about what he's going to give up. He's going to give up a piece that is coveted by the other team. Look at Zetterlund, Muhammad Doolin, in the trade for Timo Meyer. But at the same time, he's not going to give up something that's going to mortgage a future. And the one piece that I worry about the most is Seamus Casey. We have another defenseman coming up through the system. Well, he's still in college right now. He's playing for Michigan. In Seamus Casey, who I think is going to be the next one. I think this kid is going to be an absolute stud when he hits the NHL. And I'm so afraid that the Devils are going to pull the trigger and send him somewhere to get a Saros or get somebody. And like Shorts guy said, if we're not shoring up the defense and getting the goaltending situated, then we might get a goaltender who's all world, but then you put him in front of a shaky defense and he becomes all county. You know what I mean? So they need to do this the right way. And I don't want them to. I rather them give up draft capital. I'd rather see like a first round, second round, whatever you have to do, go in the other way. I don't like to see. I hate to see giving up on like really promising especially young defensemen.
Yeah,
but we
fair
need
enough.
a
I think
defenseman
that's
to
a
come
name
in.
that's going to get. I think that's a name that's going to get asked about a lot. The Seamus Casey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that we just cleared room with sending Riley Walsh out. There's I don't know. We'll have to see. Our depth is taking a little bit of a hit, but Fitzy has done well with the draft and everything, so we'll see exactly where it lands. But yeah, I think that'll be a name. I think Nemec will be your first one, and then Seamus Casey will be the next one to get asked about. So it's one or the other. Which one do you think is gonna be the better of the two? That's the one you're gonna hang on to. If you want to get a big goaltender or something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But we're also coming to the end of the old show here. We're hitting the old hour mark, so we should get into some final thoughts and wrap this bad boy up. I can start out. This is what they always say is the bonding time for a team, taking these long road trips, and the Devils are going to be on a long road trip here. Coming out to the West Coast, we'll be doing some true Devils After Dark episodes. Pretty late night there on the East Coast. Sam Wu's favorites, the 10 p.m. Eastern start times. I love them because they're 7 p.m. for me, but I don't have to be working and watching the game at the same time. So yeah, it'll be fun for me. Hell for Sam Wu. At least Shorts guy gets sort of a break there on game day on pregame game day live pregame live. Jesus, on game day live. Not too late for you, but
no.
But this is one of those bonding type of trips. Will they come home with a different defenseman? Maybe they will. They are stopping in Calgary. They'll get to see Tanev up close and personal there and check him out. And Calgary's got a slew of other people that are apparently on the block as well. And I'm very excited to see all three Hughes brothers on the ice at the same time Tuesday night. Quinn has just been a dominant force there up in Vancouver. Jack and Luke, it's going to be a special night there in Vancouver on Tuesday. And just really looking forward to seeing who wins the race. Quinn, Jack, or Luke around the ice. They got to do a little race at some point or something like that. Just get them out there. But it's going to be fun seeing all three brothers out there on the ice together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge of the boys going out to Vancouver. They're a really, really solid team right now. Like you said, Quinn is playing probably the best hockey he's played in the NHL ever, and this team needs to get their act together. They need to go out there. Maybe, like you said, this is going to be a good opportunity for them to kind of sort through things and bond a little bit more and kind of have the pressures of home away from them and not have to worry about all that kind of stuff. But you want to see them start getting in like the winning column or the dubs. Get those dubs and start piling them up. Go on a little 3-game winning streak. You lose one, that's all right. But they have to start taking care of the business, because if they play like they did against San Jose, they will get walked out of every one of these arenas. They will get walked out of Vancouver, out of Calgary. They will They will get embarrassed by all these teams. So start to look to the future. What is going to happen? What is Fitzy going to do? And how soon can he do it? Who knows?
Yeah. Scotty, like you, I'm looking forward to that Quinn on Quinn on Quinn trio.
Quinn on Quinn.
Hughes on Hughes on Hughes. Sorry. I'm thinking Quinn Hughes. The Hughes on Hughes on Hughes trio. I can't talk. But I am definitely looking forward to seeing that. We're going to see that picture. That'll be all over the NHL thing. Oh, the Hughes brothers are on the ice together, blah, 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 blah. But I want to channel last year's Western Conference swing and win it out like we did in all those Canadian games that we won and did well on the road last year. And if Fitzy has a chance to bring someone home with them and leave somebody who was supposed to pack extra but didn't, well, that's their fault and that's their problem. They're gonna have to. They've got enough money. They can buy extra clothes wherever they land. They could probably buy a nice set of cowboy boots in Calgary and walk around with them for a couple days.
And hang out with Sharon
for real. Well, yeah, but for real, it's time to start really figuring this out, and you figure it out with the defenseman first, and then you figure your goalies after that, because without filling these holes in defense, no goalie is going to be successful.
Take it home there, Sam.
I hate to say it, but this could be make or break it for this next week. I mean, they've got to respond. They couldn't respond on Saturday in practice because CBA rules, they weren't allowed to practice, and going on this trip, it's gonna be an uphill battle. But they have each other, and they're a better road team than they are a home team. You just don't lose to the Sharks like that. And from the defense to the goaltending to the overall team, and where are the veterans? Palat, especially. Where is the leadership? Because you got to right the ship now. It's not in a couple weeks and go on a heater. It has to be now. So it should be very interesting what they do against Vancouver, which is a very tough team, a Rick Tocchet coach team. Calgary is going to be, interesting as well because there are a couple guys that we want from Calgary. And for Nemitz and the other guys, it's an opportunity because Dougie Hamilton's not coming back for a while. It's time to step up. So
by the way, this road trip, Sam, kind of like you were talking about, This couldn't be coming at the best at the more perfect time where they need to get away from everything. It's perfect time.
True. Yep, that is true. All right. Well, want to thank all those tuning in. It's gonna be a fun week, Scotty.
I'm ready.
It's gonna be a fun week. They better win, otherwise it's gonna suck for me. and the rest of you guys that joined in, because last season the West Coast trips, it was a pretty decent crowd.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. in the morning.
Well, I'll be able to listen on Tuesday because I got 2 games and they're really late on Tuesday, so I'll be able to listen to After Dark on the ride home.
Yeah. And just remember, drink and Crew Brew. And Crew Brew, where we make winning memories together, one crew at a time. Except for that one time last Friday. That one was good. Anyway, till next time, let's go Devils.